All right. Hello and welcome to Studio 2. Today, as always, I'm Jimmy. We have the amazing Owen Butterworth at the controls. And sitting across from us is a guy who had a little feature a few episodes ago, but we decided he needed his own. So with us today, we have Nathan Harvey. Nathan, the Harp Throb Harvey.
Harp Throb.
Formerly Harp Throb, now Harp Throb. It's too many throbs, Nathan.
Yeah. There's not too much around me, I hope. Yeah, but we're at the Lincoln Pin and I was playing harp. And Troy goes, come up and play harp, and now I'm called the Harp Throb.
The Harp Throb.
Yeah.
So I know there's a couple of people who will listen to this episode who had a poster of you on the wall. They've personally told me when I told them that I had you coming on, they're like, Nathan Harvey, I had a poster of him on my wall, and it wasn't me. Sorry, mate, but no. So I'm sure they'll be glad to listen to this episode. Yeah. So let's get there then. Oh, hello, we got Chloe.
Hello, Chloe.
It's been a while.
It's my groupie.
Chloe looks like she's had a big weekend.
Well, that's like one of my groupies, old now. And you, instead of getting G-bangers thrown at you, you get bloomers.
So, I mean, a lot of people would know you from, or if they do know you, might be from back in the day. Channel V, was it? Where you kind of got your start in the music industry?
Yeah, in the music industry, it was definitely Channel V. But before that, was modelling, and I call myself a dumb ex-male model because I am. But Channel V eventuated from when I was modelling. I was really quite successful at that. I went overseas to the UK for a while, and I was listening to Hunters and Collectors, standard Aussie stuff, and I came back listening to Metallica and all that kind of stuff, and smoking weed and doing all the unhealthy stuff, and that's got me into the music industry. And from there, I
is that a prerequisite? Is it?
Not really.
Maybe in the 90s it was.
Kind of. Yeah, it really is, isn't it? Yeah. And I picked up some drums, also drumsticks when I was a teenager, but to cross over, me and three mates did a pilot episode. It was called Happening Places, and we did our own film of it. And Kirk, my mate, was studying editing at the time, and another mate was a cameraman, and another mate was a shit kicker, and because I'd been a model beforehand I started when I was 16, and I used to play footy at the same time. People used to stomp on my head and call me a fag and all that kind of stuff because I was a model, and that interfered with work because back in the day they didn't have Photoshop. And so I'd rock up to a really important shoot and I'd have stud marks all over my face, so I had to pick one.
A broken nose and cauliflower ear don't really work well in the modelling
That's
world,
right.
Yeah.
And so, but it was funny, it was just a bit of a fate thing, and so we made this show and we made our own theme song. It was like a rap song, and we hand drew a map of the Northern Beaches. We had a car and we towed it with a piece of string around a map and had this little theme song, and I sent it to a producer that I'd met, and he really loved it, and he goes, "You're a natural host." And from that I got a show on Channel 10, which was Beyond Productions. I don't know, you remember Beyond 2000?
Yeah.
Beyond Same 2000, company, Beyond 2000, and they took a huge punt, and it was like a youth affairs show punted straight against the news in prime time. And so suddenly I was like, boom, like thrust into the spotlight big time. And it lasted 13 weeks. and at the time, I was going to get a massive sponsorship from Pepsi, and I had to turn it down because for my career, the show was sponsored by Coke. And it was 13 weeks and it bombed out, unfortunately. Or it didn't bomb out. The show was good, but Channel 10 got itchy feet and thought, we don't know whether this is going to work. And I lost a $100,000 Pepsi endorsement sponsorship because of it. Trying to do something for my own career. But the funny thing is that Kirk, the editor, he is now David Fincher's lead editor. He's won 3 Oscars now.
Oh wow!
And Dave, the cameraman, is a IMAX cinematographer, and the guy who's a shit kicker, Fargs, is a grip. A film grip, so they've all gone well, and I'm just a bum.
Living your best life, though.
Yeah. So that's and from there, I got pretty much headhunted by Foxtel, and I started hosting a show on Foxtel, and then from there they said you'd be great for Channel V. Yeah, and so that's how all my music industry stuff started. And as I said, I played drums as well, and I played in a bit of a piss take band called the Velvet Underpants, which is a guy called Ken Stewart from Mr. Blonde.
Yep.
At the time. Yeah,
cool.
And so that's how it all started.
So were they all Velvet Underground rip-offs, or?
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
All original songs, and
cool.
We actually had a big bit of velvet over the kick drum, and so when you went like that, it actually pulsated. So that was fun. Yeah.
Cool. So, I mean, we probably jumped ahead a little bit there, but I just wanted to kind of, get the elephant out of the room. But so essentially, you said you had a little map of the Northern Beaches, so I'm going to assume you grew up on the Northern Beaches?
Yeah, I was born in Manly,
Yep.
and lived around Manly for only 2 or 3 years, and then we moved further down the coast towards, or up the coast, should I say, towards Mona Vale. I went to Pittwater High School, not Pittwater House. Pittwater House is considered the snobby one. And and so I spent most of my youth down that way, and then as soon as I left school, I went straight over to the UK.
Yep.
And did my modelling over there and did that for a while. So, yeah, it was awesome.
Cool. I did a little stint in the UK as well. It was a fun time. Early 20s.
Yeah, that does your head in at times, though. It's just too drizzly and wet and cold and damp, and you can't get the bloody mould off everything. And yeah,
I was so high, I don't remember it. But just the good times.
Yeah, well, that was the funny thing, because I was so involved in playing rugby. I was like rugby, and because I played pretty high level rugby, and we toured New Zealand and played the major provincial sides over there. And so I didn't touch cigarettes or weed or anything until I went to Europe. And going to Europe, everyone was smoking. Everyone was smoking weed. I lived in Barcelona for 3 months, and by the time I came home, muso or music industry, should I say? And that was what sold me. Yeah. So, yeah.
So, growing up in Northern Beaches, as a family, where you said you picked up the drumsticks at some point, was your family a musical family?
My dad used to sing at church. He used to be sing at church, but he was from the mean streets of Liverpool in the UK, and they came over. They were the 10-pom
10-pound poms.
Yeah, 10-pound poms, and so they came over. They came over in '67, I think it was, and so they were always into music, and so my musical taste was definitely from my old man, and inheriting his vinyl collection could pay off my mortgage, but I'm never going to sell it, because I've got first release Beatles albums from Liverpool, so which is pretty rad. Yeah. Their very first album, I got first press, first release.
Wow.
And and I've got Sgt. Pepper's first press, first release, and all that kind of stuff. Wow. So that's pretty cool to have that in your collection. And it's because I've been moving around so much. It's at my friend Kat's, the keyboard player, Kat, my friend. So she's down in Bundeena, so it's safe down there because it'll probably get trashed with all the moving around that I've been doing. And but from that, it's really had a lot to do with my musical taste, and that's why with my own music that I'm doing, and also with the Guzzlers, I always want to experiment, because you listen to bands like the old school bands like Moody Blues and ELO and Pink Floyd. Pink Floyd are my favourite band in the world. It's always made me really, really want to experiment, and so. But there was a huge gap. After I left Channel V, I literally didn't really have anything to do with music until 10 years ago when I picked up a guitar. And so in that time, I've done a zillion things in between, which was hosting shows at SeaWorld, pushing back planes at Sydney Airport, and all sorts of things. So, but even at SeaWorld, I was there for almost 10 years, and so I was running the desks there as well. So I was running the live shows, and there's a really funny story about that. I'll tell you about it later if you want.
Tell us right now. Fuck, that's what we're here for, mate.
All right, well, okay. Well, it was my mate's birthday party. We were at the Gold Coast, and and basically it was 3 a.m, and I was supposed to go to work the next day and decided to drop a microdot of acid. And I was waving at buses at 7 a.m. Went, oh, I don't think I'll be going to work. And my boss was really understanding. They were really, really pretty cool guys. And I said, mate, look, and we always had backup sites. So there's always people who could back up. And I said, mate, I've had a bender. It's my mate's birthday. I was honest. And he goes, oh, mate. I said, oh, mate, but he didn't obviously know that I'd had a trip. And so he thought I was just hungover. And I said, mate, I'm in no condition to work. And he goes, oh, mate, can you please just come and run the desk? Can you please just come and run the desk? You don't need to do a show. It's all good, right? And so the average day at SeaWorld, you'd start by doing a dolphin show, then you'd do the seal show, and then you do the water ski show and repeat. And so it's 6 shows a day. And so we got through 5 shows, and I was fine. Even on acid, I was fine mixing the shows because it was really simple. Like a couple of mics, turn it up, turn it down, play the soundtrack, easy as, right? And there was a big emergency at the seal show, and they got held up for ages. And they said, "Oh, you've got to host the dolphin show." And I'm like, "Oh, fuck!" So,
could you talk to the dolphins at that point? Or?
Well, I don't know what the fuck I was talking to. But anyway, dude, I to be honest with you, I can't really remember the show, but I can remember the ending because at the very end, the head dolphin trainer, her name was Carly, she goes like this to me. She goes, "Nathan, come here." And I went, "Oh, here we go." And she goes, "Whatever you did for that show, that's the best show you've ever done. Make sure you do that again." And I'm like, "No, you
don't want that.
Would not want that because the thing about it, right, is the dolphin show is all the flowery one where you're going, oh, look at the dolphins and all this kind of stuff. And I've struggled with that shit. I was like, you know, the water ski show, let's go, it's a water ski show and all that kind of stuff. And so I was hosting that for 7 years, or actually not 7 years, about 5 years. But and the seal show was a total comedy, and so I was really comfortable with that, but I was struggling big time with the dolphin show. But then the next day I go to the dolphin show, hungover as fuck, it was terrible. Yeah. She said that show, and it was amazing. But I got sort of bored of that, and I befriended the water skier captain, and ended up becoming a pro water skier there, and ended up playing the lead part of the water skier at SeaWorld.
What the fuck?
I learned how to ski from never water skiing in my life to doing 110-foot jumps off a ramp and backward barefooting.
No way.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
What was that process like?
Crazy.
Do you learn in a foam pit, or you just going straight?
You just go straight out there. And well, there's boats going around the lake.
Yeah.
All day with skis practicing, and there's some guys that are really good, and they're going, oh, I don't feel like practicing, and I'll go. And I literally had to do one act for about a year and a half, which was I played Big Fat Pete. I was the big developer. I was called Pete Millions, and I had this big pink moo on, and I was in a big fat suit. I was like, we're going to kick everyone out of this place, and we're going to build a big thing. And they dragged me over the ramp, and I at about 80 kilometres an hour.
Yep.
And I do this flip in the air, and both my skis come out, and everyone laughs. And I perfected that to the point where I was doing bailouts bigger than some of the best skiers in the thing. And they said, right, you're ready to do all the other acts in the show as well. And then I started doing slalom skiing, and you know how they do the pyramid? I was in the pyramid, and they have all that in the end. And
sick.
And where you jump off the tower and barefoot around the lake and get up and go woohoo like that. So I was doing all that, and then I broke my neck. Not at SeaWorld. The show unfortunately got canned, but a Canadian friend of mine invited me to Canada, and I broke my neck water skiing in Canada. And that's how I ended up picking up a guitar. And I never would have picked up a guitar otherwise, because I probably would still be a water ski bum now if I didn't. But and so I came back to Sydney, and I ended up living with a guy who went to the conservatorium. And I had an old guitar that I bought off one of the old water skiers, and we just started jamming together, and that's how I picked up my guitar for the first time. And that was in 2015.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you haven't put it down since?
Haven't put it down since. Yeah. So I've written 60, 70 original songs now.
Yep.
I'm definitely not a good guitarist, but I think I'm a pretty good songwriter. You've heard a few of them.
I've heard a few of your songs.
Yeah.
I'm on one of your songs.
The Cookie Monster, Gay Nazis. You don't know what
They're
to
coming
say,
for
do
you.
Owen? The gay Nazis are coming for you. Haven't seen this since 1942.
We've been recording for 15 minutes, and this has been the most insane 15 minutes of anything
all?
I've ever recorded.
Oh, there's more.
There's more.
There's way more.
So much more.
Yeah.
So much more. Actually, he's got a really good story about getting out of hospital with a broken neck in Canada too.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
You don't have to tell that.
Oh, no, I can tell that. This is pretty funny. Well, my old man had to come over, and the thing is, when I broke my neck, it was really gnarly because I thought I'd just pulled or strained some muscles, right, and they got me in the boat. And I just said, I feel a little bit giddy. And I actually hauled myself up into the boat. And I said, I feel a little bit giddy. I don't think I can do any more of the show. And this was the first show of the season. And I sailed over on a yacht, believe it or not, from bloody Fort Lauderdale to Bermuda, and then flew from Bermuda to Canada. Because my mate...
That's the long way around.
Well, my mate was sailing around the world. So when SeaWorld finished, he goes, do you want to crew on a boat?
Yeah.
And I said, fuck yeah. And I got all the way to Bermuda, and because I'd done a lot of sailing when I was younger too, and we got all the way to Bermuda, and he goes, do you want to keep on going to Ibiza? And I'm like, oh, fuck. And I had to go to Canada, and so I spent 2 or 3 weeks scrubbing the ramps in Canada, and then I broke my neck. First show of the season, so I was spewing because I was actually going to be a water ski instructor at a 6-star Marriott resort, which was in a place called Muskoka, and Goldie Hawn has a cottage there, so to speak. Yeah. It's that kind of place.
It's like Aspen, but for the lake.
Aspen, but for the lake.
Yeah, sweet.
And in Canada, it's a warm lake, which is very rare, and it's because it's shallow. And so when the sun comes, it actually warms the lake because a lot of the lakes around there, like Lake Michigan and all those types of lakes, are super, super deep, and so they stay.
Okanagan, where I stay.
Yeah, and they stay cold all year round. So that one, it's just north of Toronto, is the millionaire's playground because everyone wants that warm water in summer, and it's a rare thing in Canada. Yeah, and so anyway, I'm digressing. So after I broke my neck, it was full on. I got onto the boat and I had a bilateral dislocation in my C4 and C5, which was like that, and then up, and it was so serious that they took me to the first hospital, and they went, whoa, this is too serious for us, and took me to the second one, and I lay in sort of my own shit basically for 30 hours because they couldn't even move me to change, and they operated, and I've got a titanium plate and 4 screws in my neck holding my neck together. Yeah. And in a way, it was lucky that it was serious enough to do that, because if it wasn't, I would have probably been 3 to 6 months in a halo, stuck in Canada. Yeah. And so my old man flew over, and he couldn't believe it. He goes, "Holy shit, how is this place?" My mate, his dad was the vice president of the Bank of Montreal, so he had this cottage ourselves on the lake. And here I get up looking like RoboCop into a brand new Mastercraft ski boat across the lake, having a coffee, and my dad didn't want to go home. Yeah. He's going, "This is fucking great. This is a great holiday." And I said, "Dad, I kind of want to go home now. I've got a broken neck." But and I couldn't be. I had to wait like at least a week before they'd let me fly. And I've been chatting up this chick, and she was like, no word of a lie, she was 11 out of 10. And
I've seen a picture.
She was super, super hot.
Oh, that's good gear.
Yeah. And so I snuck out, right? I snuck out, and I went over to her house, and if it was going to happen, it was going to happen then, right? And sure enough, it happened. And I was lying on my back the whole time, and she's going, "Are you all right?" And I'm going, "I'm absolutely fine." She was doing all the work. I was just there going, "Yeah, and I get back home, and Dad goes, "Where the fuck have you been?" And I told him, and he went, all right. Yeah. So, but
Benny told me it was going to be loose when I got you on here.
Oh, loose as. And so I came back with my tail between my legs, and as I said, and that was the precursor before I started working for Virgin, and I just started in the pit crew throwing bags, and progressed quite quickly up to dispatching the aircraft, and dispatching the aircraft is where you see guys where they have these little things they clamp onto the bottom of the aircraft, and they've got rollers, and so I was operating those, the PPUs, and talked to the captain, saying when he could start his engines and disconnecting and doing all that, and so I did that for 10 years before COVID happened, and then Virgin went bust, didn't they?
Yeah.
And so I moved up here.
Yeah, cool.
What was the biggest aircraft you pushed out?
A330.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sick.
It's the biggest aircraft Virgin had. So,
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Sick.
And I got a great video of it, actually. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Awesome.
And all the aerosexuals, we call them, loved it. And they said, are you allowed to publish? Are you allowed to put that on Facebook? And I said, yeah, there's no critical information because people you get aerosexuals that hang there and they've got the scanners, and they're picking up all the aircraft traffic and they're sitting there going, oh.
I've never heard the term
having
before.
a wank over all the aircraft chatter.
I don't get that excited about it, but I am a mild aerosexual myself. I haven't heard the term before, but yeah.
Well, you're an
I bet it
audio.
resonates, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
it does. No,
Well, you
it
do it
does.
over different things. You're an audiophile.
No, I
so-
do it over planes as well. Like I fucking love planes. Like
Yeah.
I'm the kind of person when I go on a trip, I get to the airport like 3 hours before and sit there and drink a beer and have my flight radar up and fucking.
Yeah, right.
It's like my favorite place in the world.
It's
Second
always a good
favourite
idea
maybe,
to do
but
that
yeah.
anyway, because I was always running late, especially when I was doing all the modelling and TV stuff.
Yeah.
I was partying so hard, and I'm waking up hungover, running from one place to another, and I was always running late. And I've always, ever since then, I've just said I love being early, and it was just being early today. For example, you drove in, I was sitting there with a ginger beer, watching the sunset. And there's just less stress in your life.
100%.
Yeah.
I've been doing a bit of freeway driving with work, and you get the people that want to do like 140 k's to work.
Yeah.
And anyway, I became one of those people myself one day, and I'll never do it again for the pure reason I jumped in my car and I said I was going to be 10 minutes late to work, and I'm like, if I do 140, I might get there in time. I got there 8 minutes late to work. I saved 2 minutes doing that shit, and I'm like, so now I call it when I see somebody just flying past me, I'm like, get home 2 minutes early, brother. Like it literally does nothing at all. And
Well, you could lose your license as well.
You could. I like to turn up on time or 15 minutes early. That's me. It's if I say I'm going to be there at 11, I'll be there at fucking 11, man.
Yeah. I think it was I want to say it was like Neil deGrasse Tyson or maybe like Bill Nye, like one of those like classic, science guys that does TV and shit.
Yeah.
And he was talking about if you're traveling at, let's say 110 kilometers an hour and you take that to 120 or 140, like your time traveled decreases by 1.4% or something, but your risk of death increases by 300%. It's something fucking ridiculous. It was insane. Yeah.
And not only that, you save a hell of a lot of fuel, because anything over 100 k's an hour, you're wasting fuel. Because it's basically, and I'm one of those people that drives just over 100 on the freeway, and I slowly overtake trucks, and then just pull in. And you know what? It's a much nicer drive. You're not constantly checking your mirrors all the time. And I did that in 2019. I sort of took the year off. Virgin said when they were struggling, right? They said we'll give you a year off and you still have your job when you come back, which was a lie because it went bust.
He was hoping somebody was going to bail him out.
But that was a huge thing for me because, it taught me, and I wrote a song about it. It's called Flying High Yet Going Slow, and that's what it is. You go slow and you start turning left off the freeway and take the scenic road. And maybe I'm getting old or something, but everyone's point A to point B, but you learn so much shit by doing that, and it's like wake up and smell the roses, so to speak, And you're just cruising, you're just playing your tunes on your stereo. You don't have to worry about overtaking. Everyone's worrying about overtaking you, going, you can't. But I don't care. Oh, sorry, excuse the French.
Oh, no, it's fine. There's been a few of them.
Yeah.
So you started telling me a story that just popped into my head ages ago, but I don't actually think you ever finished the story, or maybe we went on a tangent and ended up in a different story realm somewhere.
Well, it depends which one.
No, you were telling me that you spent a bit of time up in the Northern Territory, did you not?
No, at a cattle station.
At a cattle station.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a place called Jovi. It was 24,000 hectares, and it's 3 hours inland from Townsville, and it's right near the Three Rivers Hotel, which Slim Dusty wrote his song about.
Yeah.
And so we went to the Three Rivers Hotel, which is unreal, and about as outback Queensland as you can get. And I did a gig out there, and I got paid. I could pick the best Akubra hat from the stand.
Yeah.
I've still got that Akubra hat.
Yeah, sick.
It's a wicked hat, eh?
Yeah.
It's one of those really wide brim ones that you just can't get anymore, And so, and that was unreal. And so I during that time, I drove around just doing gigs, and I'd stop at pubs and I'd say, can I have a meal and I'll play a gig for you. So that was a real learning experience for me, because I was god awful then. I'd only been playing for about 4 years, and
So they give you a bag of chips when you were done with that?
yeah, that's about it. Yeah, they said, they gave me a bag of chips and go, don't come back. Yeah, but for me that was. I'm good. Yeah, for me that was. It was funny because I'd had a little bit of a profile from V and stuff like that, and I've got lots of industry connections and stuff, but I didn't want to. I wanted to keep that separate from doing my music, because I wanted to do the yards, and I've done the yards now, and that's way more gratifying than try to say, oh, I was such and such, and here's my first single, like Kylie Minogue or something,
Yeah.
Like, hey, let's not go back there. I had to send an apology email to Danny Minogue after the Troy episode.
Did you? Really?
Oh, no, but when you hear it, I might.
Well, my gay friend Michael Elbash is really jealous because I've got a photo with Kylie Minogue, and she's giving me the greasy eyeball, and I'm going, hey.
Greasy eyeball. I can't fucking wait to use that.
Yeah, and he's massively jealous, and I rib him for it all the time.
Oh, and guess what I got to use today?
Go on.
So you were talking about your partner when she sings, and then she says, if I could sing, I'd be too powerful. Yeah. I got to use it today.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, in a different context, but it was great. I was just like, mate, imagine if I did that, I'd be way too powerful. And everyone just looked at me and went, what the fuck?
She had another good one in the same vein recently. Australian Idol has just wrapped up, and a guy that I work with was in like the top 3.
Oh, Kalani.
So, Kalani, yeah.
I know Kalani.
Yeah, so we were watching it when it was getting down to the pointy end, and there was some performance in like the top 4, top 6-ish kind of realm that Lex, it wasn't up to standard for her. So she, and it was a song that she knew really well. I can't remember what it was. But anyway, she's in the bathroom singing along while she's, in the shower getting herself ready for the day. And then she comes out and she goes, tell me I'm good enough to be in the top 4. I am good enough to be in the top 4. That was better. That was better, wasn't it? I was just like, yeah, man, it was awesome.
You would have beat him on the night, okay?
I was like, fucking hell.
Yeah, but that's great for Kalani. I mean, he's such a nice kid, And I shouldn't say kid. Why do I say kid? He's such a nice guy, and that's that crew that's coming through, like Cassidy and Lockie and all those guys. There's such a cool, exciting crew of musicians developing here on the Central Coast. The young fellas like Shacked and Turtle Custard.
Yep.
Next level.
Yeah, unreal.
Yeah, and they're pretty studio savvy as well, aren't they? I know.
Yeah, the Shacked and Turtle Custard guys. Some of them, like Jake Hinwood, studied here, and so did Max Raz and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I listened to Binet, their album, and look, it's not bad, but I can see where they're going to go really, really well.
For sure.
With it. I mean, production wise, but I mean, what can I say? I'm only just dabbling in that kind of stuff, I've just got myself a Carbon, Pro Tools Carbon.
Sick.
I love that thing, hey.
Yeah, those are great.
It's really, really good. And Benny gave me a couple of mics for my birthday, so I've got a fairly decent little selection of mics now. I've got a U87 and U87 clone, should I say?
Still awesome.
Yeah, well, I went and bought a $100 case for it in Camden.
Yeah.
And I said, "What the fuck, Benny? It was $100." But then he modified it for me. And
nice.
Holy shit, it's amazing. Yeah.
Awesome.
So and a couple of the Beta 57 I'm really loving.
Oh yeah, classic.
Yeah. What about what's your favourite mic, do you think?
Probably the one that I'm holding.
Yeah.
It's a Sennheiser 441.
Oh, yeah.
I bought it late last year
Yeah.
from a studio. The Sony studios were closing down in Sydney.
Yeah, right.
I got it from there. I got it for a good price, and I've been using it on everything. I obviously use it for the podcast. I use it for vocals. Sounds awesome on acoustic guitar. It comes with me everywhere I go now.
Really
when
good
I've got a
all-rounder.
session. Yeah. I really like it. It's super versatile, and it's like it looks cool as well, which I think is a fun thing as well, because artists aren't afraid to like hold it and have it in videos and stuff. Like sometimes like the mic Jimmy's talking into, some artists think that thing looks fucking ugly, which is fair enough. It's an SM7 and it's like big and kind of bulky.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I love this mic. I think it's great.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if I had an unlimited budget, like a Neumann U47 is. Like those things are beautiful as well. But
or Benny's CME.
Yeah, that thing's nuts.
I'll send you a photo of that. That's pretty cool. Hey?
I've never seen a mic that you've got to carry around. It's got its own valve box.
Yes.
Holy shit.
Not only that, it's got the handcuffs that go to your wrist when you...
Yeah, big time.
Yeah,
that's beautiful.
Yeah, well, you can see why Hitler, changed the world. He had about 4 of them on his... You see Hitler in his old speeches, right?
Is that why he changed the world? Because of a microphone?
I
think he did a bit more than that.
I think it had something to do with the sounds must have subdued them or something, or put them in a trance of some sort, because that microphone.
It wasn't the microphone.
Yeah, maybe it could have been. You never know, bro.
Well, let's try it. We'll get a few set up. We'll play game Nazis and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, let's get 6 of them. See what happens then. Yeah, but oh no! All things seriously though, it's been I'm by no means, like, I know this is all about studio stuff, and I'm only just exploring that, and I'm for a while there I was struggling, and I've finally got my head around editing and stuff, and I'm doing elastic audio in Pro Tools, which is unreal. It's been a revelation for me, and to have a teacher like Benny's amazing, And it's funny, you do elastic audio, that goes, oh, now you've got to learn elastique. And I'm going, hang on, elastic, now there's elastique. It's
Elastique
like Target
Pro.
And Target or something.
Okay.
Elastic audio, Jimmy, and for anyone else listening that like, what the fuck is elastic audio? It is the algorithm within Pro Tools that allows you to like stretch and time align audio. I particularly like it for bass guitar because it'll look at like the transient of when the notes hit and then kind of stretch the note out if it needs to be longer or shorter. It's good I like it for like percussion loops and stuff as well. It allows you to like stretch out the audio while maintaining the correct pitch as well. So it doesn't like warp the pitch or anything if you do it properly.
Yeah. Amazing program. And the funny thing
Can't you use that to fix all my timing issues?
No.
Well,
you can say yes, but the funny thing is once you get into, and you don't, it's funny as an artist, you don't understand how much of a pain in the ass editing is until you start editing. In a way, and the closer the artist gets to being on the mark, it makes the whole process so much easier. And so, and you only start understanding that when I had to edit my own shit and go, and so that's been super important for me. And now I'm getting into gain staging and EQing, and that's next another level, which is really, and it's basic stuff. And it's funny, like, Benny was. I keep going back to Benny because, you know how people, they get a home studio and they build out a couple of tracks and they say, I'm a producer now, and not even close. I'm a sound guy, not even close to being an engineer even. But one thing I can proudly say is I'm a songwriter, and so that's where my strengths lay. Really, nice. I think is my songwriting, and
So how are you going on your track? Have you finished editing it yet, or
Night Train?
Yeah.
I finished editing it.
Yeah.
I'm in the process of gain staging it, but then I got food poisoning. It knocked me over. And I had done what I thought was a good EQ, and then I realised it was a crap EQ. And so I've taken them all off and starting again from scratch because I've only got Pro Tools Studio, and so I'm only using the EQ3 7 band.
Oh, nice.
Which is a nice EQ, but I'm still getting my head around that with high pass filter and low pass and rolling off the frequencies and things like that. So that's a bit of a mind puzzle. But particularly when I was trying to roll off a piano frequency and realised that it's across the whole spectrum.
Yes.
So, so what do you do then, Owen?
When you've got something that's just like all over the shop?
Or if it's a piano, for example, you just, I guess you've got to do what sounds good in the mix, right?
Yeah, something like piano, obviously, because it takes up like the whole frequency spectrum. You've kind of got to put it in its place, if you know what I mean. Like you've got to figure out what is the job of the piano. Like, is it doing like trilly little high bits? If that's the case, then you don't need any of those fucking low frequencies. Or if it's the inverse thing, if it's playing like low root notes, then you don't need any of those high frequencies.
Right.
Because by the time that you hear it in the mix, there should be other things that are doing the role to take up the frequency spectrum. EQing for me is all about like putting instruments into their place in between 20 hertz and 20 kilohertz. It's where everyone should go and everyone should belong. And then that's kind of how I see it. It's kind of like sorting all the instruments into their little frequency box.
So as somebody who has no idea what you guys are talking about right now, when you say putting instruments in their place, do certain instruments have certain places within certain spectrums of that? Like you're talking about
for
20
sure.
hertz to 20...
So the human ear hears, it's fucking audio engineering theory time with Owen. So the human ear hears between 20 hertz and 20 kilohertz, things that you would hear in that are low sounding, so things like kick drums, bass guitars, the rumble of an aeroplane on the tarmac. There you go, call back to being a, what did you call me before? An aerophile?
Aerosexual. You got to remember that one.
Yeah. Those kind of things live in the low end of the frequency spectrum. So let's say between 20 and 200 hertz, they're like bass frequencies. Then you've got things in the mid-range like the human voice, guitars, snare drums, synths, pianos, those things exist in the mid-range, and the human ear is more adept to picking those things up because through evolution we're communicating with each other, so we want to hear things
it's the middle
in the
of that bell curve.
Correct. It's called the Fletcher-Munson curve. It's the way your ear hears. And then there's things in the high frequencies like the cymbals on a drum kit, twinkly notes on the piano, the sound of wind, things like that live in the higher end of the frequency between, let's say, 5 to 20 kilohertz. And being a sparky, you'd know about phase as well, right? Phase comes into it as well, because when you have two instruments that exist within the same realm, let's say a piano and a vocal, right? The things in the mid-range of the piano and the vocal are going to cancel each other out because they're happening at the same time within the same frequency. So you're going to get what's called masking. So EQing is about kind of finding a way to make everything work within the frequency spectrum and help avoid masking. Like if you have a piano and a bass guitar and a kick drum all happening at the same time, there's going to be heaps of low end build-up, right? Because you're going to have the bass down there, the kick drum happening down there, the low notes of the piano down there. So something's got to give. The lows of the piano have got to come out, or the kick drum has to become mid-rangey and thumpy so that the bass guitar can sit down there, or the bass guitar has to come up and become mid-rangey and woody, kind of like a
Mm.
Paul McCartney, Tame Impala kind of bass sound.
Okay.
I need to take a breath.
Yeah,
So that's in a broadish nutshell, that's like the frequency spectrum, and then.
Yeah, well, the thing that Benny showed me that really hit the light bulb for me, because I'm just a hack, right? So I haven't been to audio school, but I'm in it. But the light bulb thing with me was he just played a single note, which is like a doot, like this, and you could see the frequency wave, right? And then he played another one, and it just went doot again. You could see the frequency wave, and they were lined up. And then as you move those frequency waves across each other, they completely cancel each other out. It's silence. And
when they're out of phase.
That's out of phase, yeah.
So that's out of phase is lining up.
No.
Out of phase is not lining up. Okay. So it's when you have two alternating currents that when one is compressing,
you want your peak at a different time to the others.
You want your peaks at the same time. Because when your peak is completely opposite, you get zero. You get nil.
Yep.
Okay.
And I what do you think in the editing process? I've been with Elastic Audio. I've been trying to zoom as far in as I can, basically, to get those phase alignments pretty much bang on for every edit. Not in a 16th kind of thing, but at least when it's hitting the actual notes or chords themselves, to save myself having to go back to fix that kind of thing. What do you think of doing that? Do you think that?
Yeah, I kind of got that nitty gritty recently. I had like a 4 on the floor kick drum beat that I was recording, and I had then samples that were involved as well, because it's kind of like this pop disco beat thing. And yeah, I definitely got that nitty gritty, especially with the samples, lining them up, making sure the phase is all correct. But yeah, I kind of trust my ears a lot of the time in that process as well.
Yeah.
Like if it's, the kick drum in relation to the bass guitar or whatever, or the kick drum in relation to your overhead mics on a drum kit or something, I just always flip the phase and I'm like, which ones sound better? And it's like, cool, that's the right answer. Because I'm not of the thought that like everything needs to be compressing or everything needs to be refracting first. I just
I like
flip
that
the
thought.
phase, what sounds best.
Yeah, well, I like that thought with the compression as well, because I was kind of putting compression on everything when I first started EQing, and that's a bad mistake, because I want to try and fix it with the EQ before you even need it, right? And
yeah, for sure.
A better recording is not requiring compression, correct?
Yeah, or even requiring EQ. Like Al Schmidt, who passed away a few years ago, was a phenomenal recording engineer.
Yeah.
And he was of the opinion that like he never used EQ.
Yeah.
You don't need it. If you've got the right mic in the right spot on the right instrument, then you don't need to EQ the signal. So yeah, that's even a more purist form of thinking about it as well.
Well,
does that come from an older thought process where they didn't have the tools that we have now?
Yeah, kind of. I mean, he definitely had EQ at his disposal, and the same ones that we have on the console in Studio One, like an SSL or a Pultec EQ, things like that. But it's more just it was his style and his kind of thought process. He recorded things like Melody Gardot and kind of like beautiful organic arrangements is kind of what he was best known for. If that's the case, you want to kind of have the least amount of obstacles between the source and the listener. It's kind of like, classic kind of jazz recording philosophy is it should sound like you're standing in the room with the arrangement. So if you can do that by avoiding an EQ and just putting a microphone in a better spot in the room, then do that.
I watched a great video the other day talking about microphones in the right spot, and it was literally just a drum mic in 12 different spots from here to there, and how much it changed. And I was like, holy fuck, how do you pick the one you want? Like, like if like just from doing it from here to there to there, I was like, and the amount of difference in sound there was, to me, was unbelievable. So as somebody who plays the drums or as somebody who sets them up, obviously, do you have a favorite one, or is it different every time? Like
different every time.
It was on a snare, I think they were working on. Yeah,
I think it's different every time because it depends on the drummer, what studio in, what drum kit you're using, what kind of music you're making. So for me, it's become like I have been fortunate that I've been recording music since 2018, I think, kind of in professional studio settings. So, and especially a lot here at the Grove in Studio One. So I kind of know in general terms, like if I'm doing a pop thing or I want to go for a bigger room sound and do a bigger rock room sound thing, like, I'm familiar with how the Studio One room sounds. So I know like the best spot to put the kit. And then from there, it kind of comes down to the drummer and what kit they've got. And then we kind of go from there. And then you think about microphones as well. And you think about the preamp that you're going to use. So you can definitely go down a fucking rabbit hole. But, I mean, with all of that shit, the most important thing is, do you have the right person playing the right instrument the right way? It's like those three things should come first. And then just don't fuck it up with the microphones.
Okay,
Yeah. And that's the thing. I mean, like I've recorded a few times now, and I'm finally getting confident enough to really sort of trust my own ability. But as you get better and better, you get also more self-aware. And if you're not cutting it, you've got to be able to swallow your ego and give it to someone who can. And the thing is, like, what happened in our last band, as we know, one of the guys wasn't cutting it, and we were working with Ryan Green via Source Connect with Benny, and you know, we're paying $80 an hour, and we did 8 hours of this stuff, and you could have just handed the guitar over to one of the other guys, and we would have done it in
sure.
one take, or if you don't do it, and one thing that I think is really important is you got to be prepared to swallow your ego, as I said. And one thing I remember when I was a kid, they asked Henry Ford, they go, "How did you make such a good motor car?" And he'd look around the room and go, "See that guy there? He's the best guy who did the chassis. See that guy over there? He's the guy that did the brakes, you know." And if far out, man, if no one in your band can do a certain thing that you've got in your head that you want to do, get a session muso in. He'll charge you like $100, which is really fucking cheap, you know, and save you $200 because you'd be trying to do it for 6 hours yourself in a studio. You know.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, and so and that's what I've done with quite a lot of my songs that I recorded. Like the first song I ever recorded was at Big M Studios in Crow's Nest. You know?
Yeah, that's like the music shop, right?
Yeah, the music shop. Yeah. Because I became really good friends with Ass Rothschild from Caligula. Cool. And we still are really good friends to this day. And he recorded every track on my song, and still to this day, it's the only song that's been played on the radio. So, the others were on Community, but this one got on Triple M, and I was like, yeah. And it was on Homegrown, and I didn't even know that that it was going to get played, and I missed the email, and I just finished a shift at Virgin pushing back planes. It was like 11 o'clock at night, and you turn on the car and it's like, and now we've got this song by Mr. Harvey, and it's like, and I'm going, what? Oh, fuck, oh, shit. And awesome. That was huge, man. I was pretty stoked. And, you know, that first song I ever released got one play on Triple M, and I got $80 for it. And I go, oh, this sounds like a pretty good thing. Like one play, because it went across the whole radio network, or stereo network, and I got $80 from APRA for one play, and I thought, right, I hope they can play it again. They never played it again. And ever since then, I've recorded probably 5 or 6 songs. Not a single one got on Triple M. And I realised it wasn't quite so easy as I thought it might have been.
What did Scotty say when I was talking to him? He said even the best guys, only 1 in 100 songs hit. You know what I mean? Like the best songwriters. I'm like, I haven't even written 100 songs. I'm like,
yeah.
Man, there's people I know, and I touched on this with Owen. Like, one of the big reasons why I probably didn't pursue a career in the music industry when I was younger is because I had friends that were just such phenomenal musicians that had jobs, and I'm like, why this guy's fucking amazing, you know? And he can't do it. I'm like, I'll just stick to being a Sparky. But like, I think, you know, like, if you're not that. If you're not a good songwriter, you're never going to be a good songwriter. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I try my hardest. I can put some chords together and make some noise with the guitar, and then I go to write those lyrics. And even though I'm getting better,
you're a good songwriter.
It's fucking rubbish. What are you talking about?
I want to lay down that Guzzler song tonight, mate.
I mean, I think it's just like,
as long as you know your song isn't like, I think I said to you, I've never had anything that I want to like give to anyone. Do you know what I mean? Like,
sure.
But I think what I've realized is I can write a song that's it's not going to be introspective or deep or anything like that. But you know, it is a piece of me, and it is from the heart essentially. You know, but all my songs tend to take on some kind of twist where I want to make people laugh as well. But I don't want to be a comedy musician. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's just got to be a little bit like tongue in cheek and don't take it too seriously. And then I feel like I can actually put together and like an entire song that is actually listenable, right? But it's a little bit tongue in cheek at the same time.
But that's the Henry Ford thing again, you know. That's where the band comes in and helps out, and then, and that's where, you know, the band helps out and go, a little bridge might be good here, or the chorus might be change it here, and everything else, and that's when it can become a truly great song. Yeah. And anyway, keep going.
No, that was about it. So no, I'm really excited about this, you know, little project that we're doing with these guys. I've you know, Benny's a phenomenal, you know, from artist to recording engineer, fucking mental guy. So it's really good to be working with him, and obviously yourself. And you know, I think with a bunch of people with a bunch of ideas, it becomes easier to just maybe put it all together and create a cohesive.
That's right, and he's a great man, and the story of how we first met was pretty funny because
How did you meet Benny?
I played at the Pocket Bar. I was playing a solo gig down at the Pocket Bar in Terrigal, and he was jamming with Haley at the time, another one of our friends, and he saw my gig and I didn't really speak to him at all that night, but he contacted me on Messenger and he goes, mate, I just wanted to say you played all originals, which was great, and I really liked your first set, but your second set sort of just went a little bit south, and I just couldn't help but notice that I saw you drinking out of a bottle of Kraken. It's like straight Kraken throughout the show, and I just wanted to let you know that I've had demons before in my past, and if you need to chat about anything or anything like that, feel free to contact me. And I went, oh, that's interesting, because it was actually an empty bottle of Kraken with Ribena in it. I was drinking Ribena the whole time, and I said, so tell me about what was so shit about my second set. And that's how we met. And he's been my mentor ever since, mate. Yeah. And we have a mutual respect for each other because, you know, he respects what I did in the media, you know, and I respect massively what he's done in the music industry, and we gelled together because of that. So that's good. I think we're a really effective team, and he's taught me just about everything I know about music now, and I've come a long, long way, but still I've got so far, I'll never get to his level. There's not enough.
It's an endless journey,
left.
Nathan.
Pardon?
Music's an endless journey.
Yeah,
it never finishes. It never ends.
Yeah. Oh, and I'm way at the bottom. But as I say, it's the people we surround ourselves with, and then you can make what's in your head become a reality.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's a really good shit. Yeah, you know.
I have to tell you, Nathan stitched me up one night. So I'm sitting at home, and I get a message off Nathan. He's like, "Hey, you've got a harmonica kit with like all the different keys in there, right?" I go, "Yeah." And he goes, "Oh, what I want to do is I'm thinking for Night Train. I want to like do this like harmonica thing, but like have like maybe the same melody but played in a whole bunch of different keys with the harmonica." And I'm like. Whoa. I'm like, all right, sweet, no worries. He goes, can you get the Bennies? And I'm like, I can come down to Bennies. So I grab my harmonicas, jump in the car, drive down to Bennies. And I get there and I sit down and I go to hand Nathan the harmonica kit and he hands me the microphone.
Phenomenal.
I'm like, nah, that wasn't part. You didn't say that on the phone. He goes, well, it's fucking happening. So I fucking got to stand there to a song I've never heard before, and he goes, "Play," and I'm like, "What the fuck?" And I just
press record.
Press record.
Awesome.
So but you know what? To his credit,
it made the cut.
It made the cut. Yeah.
Certified session musician now. Add it to your resume.
Oh, bro, I was like, "What? No, that wasn't part of it." But it was fun. I loved it.
It was fun. And do you know what? It sounds really good in the mix, man.
It does sound good in the mix.
It sounds great in the mix. And, so yeah, and that's been a 2-year journey, that song. Yeah. So. That happened because you know I helped Ben build that studio and as a gift he said I'll do a song for you, and I think he's regretting it now.
That's why he taught you how to edit, right?
Yeah. He goes, fuck this, I'm sick of editing, you fucking edit. And so
this is the track. If anybody listened to the Benny Pounder episode, Nathan got a little bit of grief because apparently there was over 800 tracks on the one song,
and I didn't have a chance to respond to that.
But apparently something got doubled up, so there was only really 400.
No, well, as I keep saying, not everyone knows binary, and he wrote this algorithm that without having to transfer all the Logic files or the Pro Tools files over to Logic. Do you know how you have to commit them and do all that? Yeah. He wrote this algorithm to skip all that, and so it skipped all that for him. But then suddenly I get 800 tracks. Jesus. Or something, 457 tracks that I had to go through each individual one. And there were duplicates that were just completely empty. So I was delete, and I finally narrowed it down to about 130 tracks or something, which is still a hell of a lot of tracks for a song. But
There's a lot going on in that song.
Well, it's a labour of love. I mean, there's a lot going on in that song.
Is that your opus?
Yeah. Well, this is a funny thing as well, because when I was hosting Channel V, I was being courted by all the record labels, and I met a guy called Peter Sintras, who was a high-level studio exec and head of A&R for Sony at the time, and Sony were absolutely blitzing it for any record company in the country at that time. I said to Sony, I said to Peter, I asked him a question, I said, so what does it take for you to break an artist? And he just looked at me and he said, one song. I said, what do you mean? He goes, one song, that's all. Like, people can spend heaps of money spent doing a big album and doing all this kind of stuff, and all day. Or a lot of people make the mistake of having 10 grand and trying to do 5 songs. You're better off getting your very best song, and before you even go into a studio, you get your very best song and you play it to 50 people from all different walks of life, right? And you ask them what their favourite song, even if it's a secret ballot, and you put it all in. Whichever song comes out the favourite, spend your money on that song and make it the very best it can possibly be, which will be a single that will be relatable to the widest demographic possible. So you spend that 10 grand on that one song, and if that song succeeds, suddenly you got a budget, because people want to spend money on you. Do you know what I mean? And that's what he said to me. And that was from the head of A&R at Sony at the time, who were absolutely blitzing things. And even though I didn't do that with Night Train, I've done that with Night Train because it was Benny's favourite song.
Yep.
Yeah, not because of that. But next song I'm going to do, that's what I'm going to do. I'll pick a few short list ones that I like the most, and also ones that I think might be the most commercially viable, and do the same and spend as much time and as much until there's no stone unturned. As far as I'm concerned, I don't give a shit about producing an album every month or a song every month. It's not like that for me. I just want to make, because if you listen to some of my previous recordings, I'm tearing my hair out listening to it now. You know, because that was when I was inexperienced, and I'm a lot more musically aware now, and so I would advise that for even someone just starting out to record is a good idea too. You know, is maybe try that and make that song the very best it can be, and then there won't be any regrets.
Matt Corby does that, doesn't he? Just does a song, and when it's ready, you release it. Like, he doesn't care about albums and shit like that. I'm pretty sure.
No idea.
I'm sure I heard him say something about that once. Like, he had a big, he did the big album that he had that kind of, and then afterwards, he was taking ages, and it was like one song every fucking 18 months coming out or something. He goes, I just work on one at a time and just release it when it's ready or something.
Yeah, look, and for other people that may not work, and they might want to release a lot, and it may be a numbers game. I don't know, but for me now, I don't really care. You know what I mean? I'm not interested in fame.
Oh, you're doing it for you? Yeah.
I'm not interested in money. I've never been driven by the dollar.
Yeah.
I've had a level of fame and fame isn't necessarily what it's chopped up to be. Do you know what I mean? I'm happy in my own skin. So why would I want to create something that it's not up to scratch?
Yep.
You know, as far as I'm concerned, I'd rather make it everything that I want it to be before I decide to move on to another one.
All right, so give us one story from your Channel V days, just like a favourite interview, like just a cracker. I know you've got something up your sleeve.
All right, the best one is this is from before Channel V, but this is a dead set cracker. I was at my mum and dad's a while ago, and Mum brought up this story about Richie Sambora, and she goes, "What about that time you took Richie Sambora surfing?" And I went, "Excuse me?" I didn't even remember. It was a complete blackout, right?
He's the guitarist for Bon Jovi, yeah? Am I got the right guy?
Yeah, the lead guitarist for Bon Jovi.
Cool.
Yeah, and back in the day when I was modelling, I was girlfriend model of the year 3 years running, and 3 years in a row. I'm very fucking proud of that.
Fucking awesome. That's amazing.
I got quite a few roots from it too. It was good.
We already assumed that, Nathan.
No, I'm sorry, I'm being a wanker now. I
That's
really
all right.
am.
Go. It's your time.
But not from the girlfriend reads, honestly. Promise you that. But and it was funny because Girlfriend magazine ran this competition. And they said, "Who wants to meet Bon Jovi when they're on tour?" And so all these girls from different states would enter the competition, and then they ran another competition. They said, "Who would you like to introduce you to Bon Jovi in all these different states?" Guess who won?
Oh, you did.
Yeah.
Nice.
And so before I knew it, I'm this dumb model, right, going on tour with Bon Jovi. And so I'm staying in the same hotel, same floor, and within a while, I'm like getting to know these guys, right? And I'm going, yo, Tico, yo, Richie. Bon didn't want to have anything to do with me. He doesn't really. He's actually quite quiet and reticent. It's a bit of a dictatorship, Bon Jovi, but the other guys were heaps
Called
of
Bon Jovi.
Yeah,
for a reason.
yeah, that's right.
Bon Jovi and the other guys.
Yeah, the other guys. But Richie and I in particular got on really, really well. And so by the time the tour was over, I think this is a slippery when wet tour. We got back to Sydney, and we'd obviously had this massive bender. And I rock up at 7:30 in the morning. With Richie Sambora to get a surfboard to take him surfing because he wanted to go surfing. And I had absolutely no recollection of it. The only way I remembered was because my mum,
She
who's a massive Bon Jovi fan, she's in a pink nightie. She goes, "Oh my God, it's Richie Sambora!" Pew! And just ran off into the distance because she was in a fucking pink nightie, right? And she only told me 20 years later. She goes, "How about that time you came back with Richie Sambora?" And I went, I had no recollection.
No recollection
I have
of it.
no idea where I took him. I have no idea how the fuck we got to our house, which is in Northern Beaches. I'm sure he had a driver. I'm sure he would have had a driver, being a mega rock star.
Yeah.
So he probably said, "Let's go surfing and get in our limo," but I can't remember it.
Yeah.
And it was a complete blackout. And it was funny because my mate Rodri, who's this cheeky bastard Welsh guy, he actually decided to test me out on it because I was up at Mum and Dad's, and he popped in to say good day to Mum and Dad. And he goes, "Oh, so Mrs. Harvey, how's the story about Richie Sambora?" And she goes, "Oh my God, I was so embarrassed." And I went, "You were fucking testing me out, weren't you? Whether that story was true."
Yeah.
So anyone who tests me out, get fucked. I'm telling the fucking truth.
Oh man, I've got a big family, right? So like my grandmother was one of like 11 kids.
Yeah.
And I've got heaps of cousins. I remember at high school, I'd hang out with them all the time. Like I know at Christmas I go on holidays, go up to Southwest Rocks camping, and I actually go camping with like my 7th cousins, right? Like it's fucking strange, right? Yeah. And so I know a lot of people don't have that family connection, but I've always grown up with it. I remember going back to school after a Christmas holiday. I'm like, "Oh yeah, my cousin did this. Oh yeah, my cousin that." And everyone's like, "I've got 2 cousins. How the fuck did all your cousins do?" I'm like, "I've got like 150. It's different." Like, like, I've got a cousin for everything, man. Like,
Yeah.
trust me, I've got a cousin for everything. It was, and you know, like sometimes the people with the most extreme stories, just because you've lived a boring life, it doesn't mean that this shit doesn't happen. You know, like
That's right.
Oh man, like yeah. Sometimes I start telling a story, and as I'm telling, I'm like, "This sounds unbelievable." And I'm like, "But you got to wait till it happens next." But it did. Like, we fucking did those things. We just lived. We went out and did it, right?
It's
like,
crazy.
I mean, I didn't do what you did, but I still went out and had fun.
Yeah, but you've done the same. I mean, I know you have. I've heard some of your stories. I've heard some of...
I say yes to a lot. Like, I'm not a no man. I'm very much a fuck it, let's do it. You only live once.
But that's what life's all about, and that's the thing. You got to take a punt. And if you don't take a punt, and look, I'm mediocre in a lot of things, but I've tried a lot of things as well. Yeah. So it makes me a good all rounder. You know what I mean? And
that's a shirt.
You can go for excellence, and that's fine. But as I say, I'm going to harp back to the old Henry Ford thing. If you want a really good lead guitarist, you get a lead guitarist in your band. You know, and you stick to your strengths. And what I've found is, and I think people like Benny and other people who have seen that in me is I'm I'm good at writing songs and I'm good at arranging songs and things like that. And so, you know, that's my strength. And then your strength is you're a great guitarist and you're a funny bastard and you're a good songwriter as well. And you're a good singer. That's something you're a really good singer, man.
No,
You got a really good voice.
I don't know about that.
Have you heard him sing?
What's your go-to karaoke song, Jimmy?
Yeah.
Oh, I've got a couple.
He's got a couple of originals. Has he ever played any of his originals?
No, I haven't played.
Don't think so.
Yeah, he's a good singer, man. And he's got a perfect voice for the guzzlers.
So yes, the other night I ended up at the old pub at Woy after a bit of a session at Lincoln Pin, and I was forced to sing karaoke. Forced.
Yeah.
So I did, obviously, Flame Trees, because you've got to.
Oh,
Sure.
But it wasn't a stationary version of Flame. I walked through the bar with the fucking microphone, getting everybody to help me.
Bit of crowd work.
Bit of crowd work.
all right, ready? 1.
No,
2,
fuck no. We need the backing track. Let's go. Kids are driving Saturday afternoon. Fuck that, no.
Wait. Here's the backy track.
No, fuck no. Put it away.
Come on, Aaron, let's pull it up. So is that your one, Flame Tree?
Oh, man, and you know what I did? I followed that up with Kitty by Presidents of the United States.
Oh, nice. But that you see, and the thing is about the band now is what I really like is we're not going to have a lead singer. The band is going to write all the songs themselves, and we've got 3 or 4 really capable singers, and so we're going to all share the vocal duties.
Nice.
And so we can't hire or fire a lead singer because we won't have one.
We won't have one.
And not only that, there's going to be 5 really good songwriters in the band, but also it's kind of like not the Arctic Monkeys, Arcade Fire. You know Arcade Fire?
Yep.
Where we've got these amazing artists in our collective that we can draw from at any time. Like there's a guy called Adam Keifel. Do you know Adam Keifel? He's an insane
That rings a bell.
studio session guitarist. And
Sick.
so Benny's written a song called "I Fucked Your Mum," and he does it. And I'll never forget it. He was in the studio, and he goes, Benny just goes, "Oh, can you play like a really cheesy '80s guitar solo?" And he just goes, and I'm just there going,
Phenomenal.
"You're fucking kidding me." And so we've got all these guys who will oscillate in and out of the band, and that's the beauty of it. And
Kind of like a King
also
Giz
the
feel
collective
as
that
well,
we've got going amongst the musicians that we have. We all go to each other's gigs, for example, as well.
Nice,
And so you know you're never going to play to an empty room, and so it's a really healthy thing that's happening in the Central Coast. And I've got my little studio is actually set up as a live rig. It can all literally wheel out on a removalist trolley,
Nice.
and I can wheel it straight into the back of my car. And I've got the carbon in there with 8 mic stands and 8 mics, and I can go and record live. And,
Unreal.
So that's what I'm starting to do now as well.
Sick.
I've done a couple of recordings at rehearsal studios, and
Yep.
I get there an hour early, set up, and the band come in, and so we're all helping each other out, which is unreal. So
Yeah.
and so it's looking really, the future's looking good, eh?
Future's looking good. It's looking fun.
Yeah.
So Nate,
Yeah.
sorry.
Okay, that's all right.
Oh, I was just going to get onto a bit of we've looking and just ask you about what you do outside of music. That's always something I like to know about people. So
Yep. I'm a mad keen surfer. I love surfing. I also my actual day job is I've gone back to landscape gardening now. I've done that since I was 16. I love watching the footy with Jamie. I'm a mad Manly fan.
Yeah.
And,
That's a shame.
that's a shame. Yeah, we're both
Yeah,
Knights
that sucks.
supporters, so we have that over
Were
here.
you?
Yeah.
Knights.
Nights.
Yeah.
You
Great win on the weekend.
got that, but
Absolutely.
at least Manly beat Para. So.
At least we beat you, so that's fine. At Brookvale.
What round is
like
we
round-
playing again? Look out.
Not again this year, I don't think.
know if
No,
we
I
are.
looked that
No?
up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
no, we're
we're
not playing again this year.
again?
No.
No, that's a shame.
Yeah.
In Foz we trust. I mean,
For now.
Kieran Forbes
Fosball?
going- yeah, Fosball. Yeah, that and I used to read a lot, but I don't so much now. And so it's funny because music to me is like a really expensive hobby, and so there's people like yourself and Benny that it's their life all the time. So music is actually for me, that's what I do outside of music. Does that make sense? Or
Yeah, no, 100%.
yeah, because like I've got a busy life, and I invest a lot of time in my friends, and so I'm out seeing friends a lot, and you know, so with all that, it's my family and friends are really important to me, and I love going to see live music, but I also love going to things like markets and running around and getting involved with nature.
Yeah.
I love getting out and.
I know you like your hidden camping spots.
Yeah. Well, I'm moving house again for about the 9th time this week, and I've got a great little paddock out in the Glenworth Valley Corporation where I'm setting up my camper trailer because I lived off grid for a year on top of a mountain.
Wow.
Yeah, I loved every minute of it, and I'm getting sick of moving into places where you have ungrateful landlords when you do all their landscaping for them, and then they get angry at you for it, you know.
Yeah.
And so I like being in a place where I can play guitar to whatever time I want in front of a campfire and howl at the moon at midnight, you know, naked if I want.
Yep.
And so I put it out there in the Central Coast conscious community, and I got quite a few replies actually, and I picked the best one,
cool.
which is Complete Solitude, and it's a horse paddock out near Glenworth Valley. And so that's where the camper trailer's going, and Russ from the FNCs, I'm renting out his garage, and so that's where the studio's going. And I've got all the acoustic material. And in between that, I'll be taking a shit and having a shower there, and then living grubby for the rest of the week. And,
why not?
Yeah, but cooking on the fire every night, and that's what I love doing. So
Nice.
so it's all about being outdoors and the solitude. And either of you guys are more than welcome to pop up and have a sing around a campfire, and I'll cook. I'm really, really good at cooking Brazilian style meat.
Cool.
And stuff, you know.
Yeah.
I cook. I fillet steak on skewers with capsicum and onion and just Australian mustard. Australian
Unreal.
mustard is the most underrated mustard ever. It's so good.
Eat, pray, love, brother.
Hey,
Eat, pray, love, brother.
Eat, pray, love. Love your love. I love all my friends, but you know, as far as relationships, I've been celibate for almost 5 years, which is quite bizarre, you know. Because I had a girlfriend when I moved up from Sydney when COVID happened, and then I haven't had a girlfriend since. So that's been good though for me. It means I can focus on my music, and it also means that you know, I have a level of flexibility and freedom that I really enjoy too. So yeah, it's great.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, let's wrap it up.
Yep.
As we always do at Welcome to Studio 2.
Yep.
I'm going to get you to recommend me a song, but I'm just going to ask you to wait a second.
Mm-hmm.
Pardon me, while I do a little shout out to the crowd, to the listeners.
Yep.
So I want you to be pleased to know we've gone from 20 listeners a month to between 90 to 100 listeners a month now. So thank you everybody for all the support. It's been absolutely blown away this year. Just how many people I knew my mum would listen. Scott said he would, so I knew I had 2 down. But
I haven't met Scott yet. I want to meet you, Scott.
But honestly, to see the listeners and the listens jumping up on the podcast, you know, every now and then when I do check, it kind of blew me away. I was a bit blown away by it. So I just want to thank everybody for that. Also want to remind everybody that when you listen to the podcast, it really helps to get it out to everybody else with a like and a comment. So I've actually found out that it doesn't matter what your comment says as long as there's a comment.
Fuck, I hate this
There.
podcast. This is the
Fuck,
worst shit
I
I've
hate
ever
this
listened to.
podcast. 5 stars. Let's bring it on, baby. This podcast sucks. 5 stars. Like, honestly, it doesn't matter what you say, but what it does is it helps put it in front of other people. So I really appreciate all you guys listening. It means the world to us. And I don't expect you to share every episode and do everything like that. But after you listen, if you can just give it that little 5 star and even a good one, a thumbs up, it doesn't matter what you do. It just helps it put it in front of people that wouldn't necessarily get to hear it. And I'd just like to get it in front of as many people as I can. So if you can help me with that, that'd be amazing.
Yeah.
We've got the Instagram as shit as it is, it's still out there. Come and follow us at welcome to _studio 2, and that's welcome to _studio the number 2.
Nice.
You can find us there. Few people have asked for a Facebook page, and when I get around to it, I'll do it. But it's just, it's you know, the whole thing about this is the podcast itself. We're having so much fun doing it, and we just want to keep doing it. And the more people that listen to it, the better. I know they're going to enjoy it, and I know they're going to go back and listen to all the old episodes because that's what happens. They do. So thanks everybody for listening. Help us get it out there. Nathan, recommend us a song. Owen, thank you.
That's all right.
Nathan,
before you recommend a song, can I food for thought for you, Jimmy?
Yep.
Now that you're amassing a large listener base, you need to find a way to address those listeners with a name.
With a name.
Into the ballot box for you, for your consideration, is the interns.
The interns.
Yeah, your listeners are the interns.
They are. Okay, I like that.
If we're in Studio 2, then the interns.
The interns.
Just a thought.
No. I think we can ride with that. I think we can ride with that because that means I don't have to pay them, right? Is that?
That's right. Yeah.
Well, do you know what? You could call them your patrons and then get up on Patreon. And they could pay Patreon.
And look, as always want to thank Scotty and the Grove Studios and the Grove Studios Academy, because, you know, without these guys being up here and helping me out, you know, we wouldn't be doing this either. So, as always, just a big thanks to him. Owen, you're amazing. Nathan, it's been great having you on.
Thanks, guys.
What's your song? What do we listen to on the way out?
Well, one of my favourite stoner rock bands of the 90s that I think would have gone absolutely gangbusters. If it just the recording itself was just a little bit, the vocals weren't like quite cutting through. It's called The Hanging Tree, and their song's called 440. And I love that band, hey.
Cool.
It reminds me of moshing at Narrabeen Sands Hotel, because I used to be a big metalhead back in the day. So I'll stick with that one. The Hanging Tree 440.
Cool. Thank you.
Thanks heaps, guys.
All right. Thanks, intern. See you next time.